it was a few uncomfortable situations that she put me in and a few other uncomfortable situations that she tried to put me in. Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Thank y'all so much for clicking back on this video. Make sure you like it, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. So I'm back with part 2 of the story time where I was talking about my weirdest friendship ever. So I'm about to get right into it. So as I left off saying, we both pretty much were dealing with similar issues. Like I was saying, I was still living at home at the time, so I was going through what I was going through with my family. She went through the same thing with her family, before she got her own place and everything. She was about to fight multiple times. I don't know if I mentioned that in the last video, but multiple times she was actually about to fight her friend's girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, whatever the situation was at the time. And if it sounds like I'm stumbling, y'all, this was almost 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, because I told y'all we met October 2020, and I completely cut off the friendship in I want to say October or November 2021. Now there was little things about me. I could understand her coming from her point of view, being she got all this going on with her family, but yes, at the time I was still around my family because I was still staying at home. Y'all know how that goes. So I could understand if she was to come from that perspective as well, but my perspective with her was, okay, so like I said, the little things that you're just little comments that, like I was saying in the girls trip video, it's kind of a similar situation. It's just little comments and stuff like that she would say to me. And y'all know at the end of the day, a friend is not going to put you in an uncomfortable situation. So it's a million different stories I could give y'all with this story time, but I don't want to make the story too long. But I'm going to give y'all an example that I clearly remember, clear as day, just like yesterday. So the friend that moved in, right, he ended up moving out not too long. He ended up moving back up north where his family and everything was. And then there was this other guy she started dealing with, whatever the situation was that she started dealing with. Mind you, her and her boyfriend are still having problems, and I kept trying to tell her, I'm like, girl, you need to stop being a crutch for him. You know what I'm saying? You need to stop being so much of a support and kind of let him learn his own lesson. But again, I've never been in a domestic violence relationship, but I feel like this goes for anything, friendships as well. But again, I'm just not the type of friend to judge. I don't know what you're really going through for real, even though we did talk every day, but everybody deals with things differently. So this other guy she started dealing with or whatever. So the story that he told us was that
his mom kicked him out because he did not want to attend the doctor's appointment.
I remember being on the phone with her and her telling me this, and I'm sitting here no, because it's more to the story than that. I didn't tell her that. I'm just oh, okay, I'm just going along with the story, but I'm waiting to see how everything else is unraveling. So he moves in. It's pretty much the same situation, well, similar situation. Only thing this time is he did not want to work. He was always calling out of work. He didn't want to help out around the house. Whenever, I remember her saying at the time, whenever she would, on top of the problems that her boyfriend was giving her, I remember she saying whenever she would buy things for herself, for instance, one time she had bought a gas mask, and for my smokers, she bought a gas mask, and she was everybody in the house was upset because she bought something for herself. But mind you, she's taking her boyfriend back and forth to work. When her friend or the other dude goes to work, he takes Ubers, but sometimes I would pull up to her house, we'd be chilling, and they both would be they would both, take her car somewhere. On top of the fact, there was plenty of times, she got on the phone, she's yelling at me, and then I ended up DMing her one day, and this was all because her friend that moved in literally kept stealing her car. She said she would wake up in the morning, or she would wake up in the middle of the night, realize he'd be gone. She looked for her keys wouldn't be there. I'm seeing her girl, you do know you can report your car stolen. If I'm not mistaken, I think he did end up getting a ticket or something like that while he was driving her car. But y'all, this is where the story gets very, very interesting. Y'all remember how I was telling y'all just now that she put me in, it was a few uncomfortable situations that she put me in and a few other uncomfortable situations that she tried to put me in. So this other friend that she moved in, he started to like me, right? He started liking me. So I remember one night, I asked her, I was like, hey girl, can I come over, stay I was getting off of work early one morning. I was like, hey girl, can I come over and stay the morning if that's cool with you? She's like, yeah, come on or whatever. And I remember now when I first got there around this time, I remember, this was like way later in the day, everybody had got up and everything. And I had went to the bathroom. And you ever be in the room? Because we were in the room smoking. It was me, her friend, her boyfriend, and her. At the time, I think her boyfriend was either in the living room. I think he was in the living room, something like that. And I got up and I walked to the bathroom. And you ever walk out of a room and it be so quiet and you just be like, it'd be awkward. You'd be like, wait, what's really going on? And I think I heard her say, oh girl, he was looking at your butt. Or she told him like, why you looking at her butt? Something like that. And I pretty much ended up like, no, I don't like him, not interested. I hate to say it, but a bum dude don't interest me. Like a dude that don't want to get off his ass and go to work. And on top of the fact that he want to hang around high schoolers all day. No, that's not my type of dude. Like, and I'm sitting here wondering, like, why are you even dealing with these type of people, period? Like male or female, friends, like whatever. Why are you even dealing with these type of people, period? So fast forward, we smoking, chilling, having a good time. And then I remember this other particular day that I think this day I ended up getting off of work. This particular day I ended up getting off of work and coming over to her house because I was over her house all the time. And I remember, we smoked for a little bit. And you know how like you're having conversations and the conversations just get kind of weird and awkward. I'm sitting here like, okay. So later on that night, her and her boyfriend, they go back in their room. And me and I'm gonna just call him G. Me and G was sitting in the living room. We did talk for a while because he had to be at work at like 5 in the morning, like 5, 6 in the morning, something like that. Because y'all know Amazon's first shift is like around 5, 6 a.m. So he was started waiting for the Uber later on. We did sit there and talk for a long time, just talking, just talking about life, talking about different topics and stuff like that. And I remember me and her being on the phone again later on. And she was just like, yeah, I constantly have to keep telling him that you're not at him like that. And I had to tell him like, yo, she just likes to talk. Because I do like to talk. I'm the friend, like I really like to talk. So she was like, girl, I had to tell him that, you just really like to talk and da-da-da-da. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm glad he knows that I'm not at him like that because I really wasn't. And y'all, we get on FaceTime. And I don't want to expose the situation that happened with one of her cousins because it was actually kind of crazy what happened. But anyway, she was having a situation happened with her cousin. Me and her was on FaceTime talking about it. And I realized he always speak to me, say, hey. And I realized like he on the phone, like I see him in the background or whatever. And I see him in the background and he looked at the camera like, because it's giving, sir, what did I do to you except say I didn't like you, didn't want to talk to you? Like, you can't get mad about that. So it was that. So fast forward, he ended up, I think he ended up leaving, or they ended up kicking him out. I think he just ended up leaving. But there was a little situation that happened with her puppy. Oh my gosh, I love that dog. I really did. And she pretty much had to put her dog down, right? After all this, he stayed there, I think, for a few months. Long enough, he stayed there. And I remember her telling me, she was like, girl, I'm so done with this nigga. I'm tired of niggas. I'm tired of all this bullshit. And all I try to do is help people. And then this is what the fuck I get in return. And I'm just like, okay. And like I said, I'm a very easygoing person. So I really try to understand both perspectives and both points of views. But this is where it kind of got me. So the fact that, like I said, he likes to hang around, the high schoolers and stuff. People that are like a few years younger than him, quite a few years younger than him. To put the dog down. And she was just like, mind you, she told me that she blocked him. Then she talking to him again another day. I'm something like, okay, so if you block somebody and you're talking to them the following day, the following week or whatever, that means you unblocked them or that means you didn't block them at all. You might have let them on red. That doesn't mean that you blocked them. And again, if you did, that means you went back and unblocked them. That's what that means. So she was just like, you know, he's all sad. Gee, he's all sad about the situation with the dog. And, you know, I feel bad for him. You know, I feel bad. And he wants me to come over his friend's house and hang out. You know, I don't like hanging out with kids. You know, I don't hang out with kids. But I was just like, hey, she had this other friend. And me and her, you know what I'm saying? I ain't had no problem with her. Me and her was cool too or whatever. She had this other friend that she had started hanging out with pretty often. So she went over there with him. They both went over there to see him and his friend. So when I got on FaceTime with her that particular day, I remember it was 4 of them being in the room. And y'all ever be on FaceTime with somebody and you notice facial expressions that's just like off? Y'all know I got to demonstrate everything. So she called me on FaceTime. And she's like leaning against, sitting on the floor, leaning against the bed or something like that. And she just has this straight, awkward face that's just like, I'm just like, and she just like, and she had this little evil smirk on her face that she would do, right? And I'm just like, okay, what that's supposed to mean? So I remember her literally being on FaceTime and one of his friends was just like, hey, he said something like,
hey, where you from? What's your name? I
said, well, I'm from so-and-so. He said,
oh. He said, how old are you?
And she's just in the camera like, and she's on the phone and she says some random shit like, yeah, my ex-boyfriend's mom sucked my titties because she's a dyke. And I'm sitting here like, all I could say was that that doesn't surprise me, because it didn't surprise me. It really didn't. It didn't. And you know how people, they just make those little faces, say those little comments, try to throw you off your game or try to make you think that you crazy. And yeah, y'all, it was just all those instances that I just explained to y'all, pretty much kind of what was happening on a repetitive basis on multiple different occasions with multiple different people. And I just honestly, I got sick of it. I got tired of it. I was just like, nah, like, people will really play you like you're dumb. And if you play along, they're going to keep playing along with you. The thing that got me the most throughout this whole story time was my boyfriend at the time. Now, I'm going to be real. We both had toxic boyfriends. We both had toxic family members. And at the time, I had like this one matter of fact, the friend within the last story time that I was telling y'all about, me and her were still friends at the time. And I was dealing with my boyfriend at the time. He my ex now. I was dealing with them too. So, you know, we was kind of going through similar situations. It wasn't just her. But the thing that got me was that, okay, again, like I said, I'm the type of girl, baby, if you want to be with your man, go be with your man, because I know how it is. And I know how it is when I'm with my man. I mean, I'm single right now, but like when I have a man, I know how it is. I'm all up under my man. I'm always in his skin. So you want to be in your man's skin, go be in your man's skin. Like, no matter what the situation, I get it. But when I would spend time with my boyfriend, with me and my boyfriend, you know, we just want our privacy. We just want time to ourselves. She literally had something to say about that. I remember her saying to me plain as day, oh, I feel like when, oh my gosh, should I say my ex-boyfriend's name? I'm gonna just call him K.
I feel like when K calls, it's just like, fuck me.
But whatever. But she was saying it in a joking way. She was like, I feel like when K calls, it's just kind of like, fuck me. And I'm just sitting here like, in my head, I'm like, girl, what the hell is wrong with you? Because every time you and your boyfriend do what y'all doing or whatever, I don't bother y'all. I give y'all space for one. I let y'all do what y'all do. On top of the fact that my boyfriend, he don't put his hands on me. No man that I've ever been with put his hands on me. On top of the fact that you taking care of your boyfriend, you're literally taking care of him. Now, granted, we all have, you know, catered to our man. At the end of the day, you know, bought him stuff and, you know what I'm saying, went out of our pockets to cater for our man. But you sitting here taking care of another grown man that you're taking back and forth to work, and he got the nerve to put his hands on you, call you all type of names and this and that. And it's just like, yeah, I know my ex-boyfriend called me names too, but he never called me name right in front of my face. He didn't call me name right in front of my face. And he knew not to ever put his hands on me. So yeah, y'all, that's how I'm feeling. Like, I just had to get it out. That's what I was thinking in my head. But you know how you be thinking stuff in your head, but you don't want to say it out loud because it's like, I don't want to create conflict. I don't want to do. No. If you know somebody's treating you wrong, confront them on treating you wrong. And when you confront them on treating you wrong and they're just, you know what? You don't even have to confront them. You don't. Because people know what they're doing to you. And it was all, you know, it was part of me too. You know, I was still learning my worth. I was still on my, you know, self-love journey as well. So me dealing with all that or letting all that happen was also my fault as well. So yeah, y'all, that's that's the story time. That's literally the story time. And again, I could give y'all a million other different examples, but it's pretty much the same thing. I'm pretty sure all y'all have been this. Most of y'all have been through this. Very, very similar situations. And she also was a very jealous friend. She didn't really like me being friends with other people, but she felt like she could be friends with other people. No, I don't like controlling, manipulating, people that make you seem like you're crazy. They play all those psychological tricks to make you seem like you're crazy when you know that you're not crazy. No, we won't do that. We won't do that. So I literally, it was like around October or November of 2021, I literally just completely ghosted her. Like, we would, she started, you know, she called me on the phone. I kept declining the calls. I was like, hey, can you text me? She was like, no, it's something I'd rather talk with you over the phone. I don't really want to talk about it through text. And I was just like, I either left her on red or I either said okay, and I just stopped taking all her calls. Recently, I think it was within the past year or so, she did try following me on my new Instagram, but I blocked her. So yeah, y'all, that was the story time of my weirdest / craziest friendship part ever. And be careful who you call a friend or an acquaintance or whatever. Just be careful. And yeah, y'all, that's all I got for this story time. I hope y'all enjoyed this story time, and I hope I wasn't talking too fast. But y'all, make sure you like and make sure you comment and make sure you subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video.